Hi guys, here's everything that's happened in 2022 in the world of One Piece. The first chapter to be released this year was chapter 1037, meaning that there have been a total of 33 chapters published this year. This man Oda has published 30 plus chapters a year for 25 years in a row. Actually, that's a great place to start. This year, One Piece officially reached 25 years of publication. That is, well, it's insane. Oda is a machine, and this officially means that if One Piece was a human, it'd be going through a life crisis right now as it approaches 30. So anyway, let's talk about the actual content, and don't worry, we're getting to the elephant in the room. We spent most of this year wrapping up the behemoth of the arc that is Wano. Wano began almost 4 years ago, which means that Oda in 2022 finally wrapped up the longest arc One Piece has seen by far. This naturally meant that most of the year was focused on the rooftop, Onigashima. We started off this year with the Luffy versus Kaido fight, and well, to be honest, we spent most of this year on the Luffy versus Kaido fight. But let's talk about other things that may have been overshadowed by this massive fight. For one, let's talk about other massive fights. This year we had a conclusion to 3 massive fights other than Luffy versus Kaido. And all of them took place between, well, a normal human and a massive being. I've said the word massive so many times, and I haven't brought up Whitebeard's dick once. Are you guys proud of me? Anyways, the first fight we saw came to a conclusion was Zoro versus King, which, well, technically wrapped up before 1037, but shut up, let me talk about Zoro. At the beginning of the year, we saw the ominous panel of Zoro on the ground and a Grim Reaper standing over him. Whilst nothing actually happened with this panel, it did happen. So, yeah. Anyways, next we also saw Queen versus Sanjay fight come to a conclusion, with Sanjay obviously being the victor. You know, if he lost to, well, this, I would have been more disappointed with this man than I usually am. Alright, moving on to the second most important fight of the year, Kid and Law versus Big Mom. Very early on in this year, we saw this fight conclude with Kid and Law being the victors, in what I can only describe as a beautiful way. We got to see Law use his Devil Fruit to, well, basically do the same shit Corazone's Devil Fruit could do. Sorry, why is this fruit so broken? Anyways, following a rare moment of teamwork between the two, we saw Big Mom finally perish after she yelled about Roger for like 20 minutes. Anyways, now let's talk about, well, what actually matters, and that of course is Luffy versus Kaido. This year changed everything for One Piece. The reveal of Luffy's Gear 5 was nothing short of perfection, and Oda managed to trick all of us for 25 years and 1,000 plus chapters, which is, well, kinda rude. The Gum Gum fruit was actually the mythical Zoan, the human fruit model Nika. So for those of you guys who are still confused, Luffy is now a god. Yeah, it still took some time for Kaido to go down. Kaido was a beast, and this fight continued long after Luffy unleashed his Gear 5. Unfortunately for the big monster, though, he met his eventual demise as Luffy punched him with all of his force, leading Kaido to fall all the way down into the lava. Not a cool way to go out. Get it? Because, like, cool, and then, like, lava is hot. Gear 5 is the greatest thing to happen in One Piece this year, and honestly, probably ever. Gear 5 is peak One Piece, and honestly, Oda revealed it in the greatest way possible. Also, mark your calendars until June 2023, Gear 5 hits anime. Now that we've talked about the elephant in the room, let's talk about the elephant in the water. At the start of this year, we also found out that Zeneshas was Joy Boy's old companion. Zenesha then proceeded to walk away after Momo didn't open the border, so, well, it doesn't mean much right now. But later, it will mean a lot. Probably. But for now, let's go back to what I mentioned. Momo not opening the border. Following the defeat of the Beast Pirates, Momonosuke became a big boy, but he also refused to open the border of Wano. While it still isn't clear why he made such a drastic decision, we can assume that he has his reasons, considering he sort of read the diary that contains all the knowledge in the world. Oh yeah, speaking of knowledge in the world, let's talk about ancient weapons. Wow, that was a horrible transition. Like, my transitions are usually bad, but that was just, wow. Following the reveal that Momo's granddad was actually alive, we got to see the third Ronin poneglyph underneath Wano, and also got to see, well, an ancient form of Wano that resided underneath Wano. But the most important part of this is the ancient weapon Pluto's underneath Wano inside an ancient form of Wano that sank. That was such a complicated center. Just look at the picture. Picture explain all. But on the topic of lore, this year we got to see the most One Piece lore revealed in, well, a long time. More on that soon though. For now, let's talk about Ryokogyu. Finally, we got to see Admiral Green Bull in all of his glory, and, well, he isn't that gloriful. At least the action scene with the entirety of Wano beating him up was nice, but he really didn't do much. He came, so did Shanks, and so did I. I'm sorry, he came, got attacked by Shanks, and then left. Wait, Shanks was here? Yeah, Shanks appeared in Wano for a few seconds, probably for marketing for Film Red, flexed his hockey, and then showed one of the most eerie panels in all of One Piece, where he asks if he should go claim to One Piece. Truly horrifying. And then he left. Just like that. Moving on, let's talk about Yamato. Yamato not joining the crew is probably the biggest disappointment this year. Yamato was hyped up to join the crew for so long that almost every One Piece fan was disappointed when they eventually didn't join the crew and chose to stay back. I feel what made it worse was that they came out of nowhere and there was no explanation until the next chapter, but at least they're bound to join later. Maybe. So yeah, one is death, Hiyori beating Orochi, Hiyori shitting on Orochi, a nice feast, bounty increases for the entire crew, Luffy finally becoming a Yanko, and we're off. Okay, no, I'm joking. Let me go back to the bounty thing. Luffy finally became an official Yanko, along with Blackbeard, Shanks, and, well, Buggy. Buggy became a Yanko because of his new crew with the cross guild that features Mihawk and Crocodile. Together, they're basically the anti-marine force that places bounties on the heads of marines rather than, well, the other way around, because it's usually the other way What am I doing with my hands? You can't see this, but what am I doing? Continuing on with bounties, we also got updated bounties for every single Straw Hats, and you guys, Chopper did it. Triple digits. Oh yeah, also Sanjay got absolutely fucked. Moving on, let's talk about Egghead. Egghead is changing everything in One Piece and genuinely is the most impactful arc till date, other than Wano, which just closed. Lore-wise, this is the most impactful. We finally getting new info on the Ancient Kingdom, how Devil Fruits were made, and oh yeah, we also get to see Dr. Vegapunk. Dr. Vegapunk finally left his room and he broke into numerous parts. Touching grass was too much for him. Oh yeah, also, Vegapunk's creations are world-changing, especially the Seraphim that are, well, as he said, possibly the strongest beings ever. Overall, the manga of One Piece has gone crazy in 2023. So much has happened from the conclusion of the biggest arc till date, as well as the beginning of an arc bound to change the course of the show forever. However, there was one significant change that I didn't mention. Following a hiatus in the middle of the year, the second ever month-long hiatus Oda has taken, the pacing of the manga changed a lot. Everything became a lot more fast-paced, and even as we go through the world-changing events such as Law vs. Blackbeard, another thing that happened this year, we had to see how the manga is sprinting towards the end. While this is extremely controversial, I am sad that Kaido didn't get the conclusion he deserved. Anyways, let's move on to other One Piece news. For example, Film Red, the newest One Piece film to hit the theaters and by far the biggest, even managing to top box office sales since release. Due to months of marketing, some of it even taking place in the canon, Film Red was a massive theatrical experience where we got to see everyone's favorite DILF, Yanko, Shanks, do shit. Speaking of theatrical experiences though, let's talk about episode 1015. 1015 is the peak of the One Piece anime, and we were so lucky to have been able to see it this year. It was perfect in every way and actively made me want to watch the One Piece anime. I feel like while the anime is neglected by a lot of fans, recently it's been picking up like crazy and it's worth watching the current fights. But overall, there is one more secret I've kept about the world of One Piece in 2022, and that is the creation of Laugh Tale's Journey, the best YouTube channel. But for real, the thing I haven't mentioned is that we got a lot of action from characters who are usually hidden in the background, which means that, well, we're heading into the end game. We got to see Emu make an island go boom. We got to see Blackbeard do a lot of shit too, unfortunately. Blackbeard accomplishments this year include kidnapping Kobe and starting a war with Law, which is 2 more things than he normally does. Towards the end of the year, we also got to see the revolutionaries a bit more, and characters we don't usually get to see are showing up. Mysteries are being revealed, and overall, this year symbolizes that we're heading into the end game. Thank you for watching, and I hope your New Year's is blessed. May 2023 be better than 2022, and I hope everything you want comes true. Unless you have dreams of genocide, but then I don't really. Anyways, thank you, and Happy New Year. Love you.